Welcome all of you to a new episode of Radio Tam with Annforreal. I got two requirements here. Well, and it's from Anonymous. Anyway, she asked me to recite the poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, and then talk about the toughest decision that I ever made. So interesting. I think I'm gonna start with our first poem tonight. Jim? Two roads divert in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth, and took the other at just that fair, and having perhaps the better climb, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing bear had worn them really about the same. And both at morning equally lay, in lips no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept a first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Wasn't it too bad, Jim? I don't know why, but my voice keeps going down after each sentence. Anyway, as far as I know, this reading of the poem is extremely popular because every reader can empathize with the narrator's decision, having to choose between two paths without having any knowledge of where each road will lead. Moreover, the poet's decision to choose the less traveled path demonstrates his courage, rather than taking the safe path that others had traveled. He prefers to make his own way in the world. The narrator only distinguishes the paths from one another after he has already selected one and traveled many years through life. He finally says he will be telling others about the choice he made. While doing so, he will sigh either with relief that he made the right choice or with regret that he made the wrong choice. Whether right or wrong, the choice will have had a significant impact on his life. Well, how can I find the exact words so as to express my feelings after finishing such a sentimental poem? Perhaps because this reminded me of my sad memories in the past, it moved me to tears. I used to be stuck in a situation when I had to make a really hard choice, to continue living or to end up dying. That happened after I failed the high school entrance examination, while all of my friends had passed it, and simultaneously got rejected by my first ever crush. And what even worse was that my parents were getting a divorce at that time. Maybe it's kinda like young buffalo stuff to you, but to a 14-year-old girl, me, it was totally an unpleasant shock. In consequence, I experienced depression. Don't be so surprised like that. First of all, I have to thank God that depression only lasted 3 months. I'm not sure when it exactly occurred, but my feelings of depression and inferiority were the ones that ruled over me. I was damaged from the inside. The depression, which had been slowly eating away at me, completely swallowed me, and I couldn't win over it. I asked myself, who can take care of myself? It's only me. I was alone. My friends were too happy with their results, and so obviously no one wanted to concern himself with others' sorrow. And if you are waiting to hear something more dramatic, my first crush is the one who broke my heart and hurt my feelings so bad. While everyone says that you will forget those little pains anyway, since time is the most effective remedy to soothe your soul, it's definitely wrong. If you ask me how can I overcome my depression after 3 months, I would say it because I decided to get used to it. Decided to become familiar with that painful feeling. But remember that getting used to something isn't equal to forgetting it. Still there will be a scar left behind. Another useful piece of advice for you: don't ever wait for people to come and have you ease your pain. I indeed had to do a lot by myself. Someone say that your family will always be there for you no matter what happened. Maybe. But in my case, my parents were too busy dealing with their marriage problems. And at that time, depression was not even a word, but existed in their brains. So you can imagine what would happen if I told them I was depressed. They would definitely chew me out again for my failing the entrance test. By the way, it was a hard time after all. Please don't blame me if I confess to you that I used to want to commit suicide. No one realizes how strong someone with depression has to be just to do daily stuff like shower, brush hair, or get out of bed. When you're depressed, you don't control your thoughts. Your thoughts control you. Therefore, sleep isn't just sleep anymore. It's an escape. And I knew it was bad when I woke up in the mornings and the only thing I looked forward to was going back to my bed. I wanted to kill my sadness. That's why I just forgot taking my own life all the time. But hey, don't worry about me. I'm good now. If you're wondering what happened to me after those 3 months, the answer is a friend saved me. She realized my disappearance on Facebook and decided to call me. When she asked me, I told her that I was thinking of killing myself, like Eddie at all. And can you guess what she replied to me then? She didn't say anything redundant or cliched. She only told me one thing. Do you ever consider that if you die, nothing would change? But if you keep fighting with those ironic paradoxes in life, perhaps someday it would make certain changes for society? My friend has brought me back to life with the right philosophy. So, if you are listening to me at present, I just want to say thanks. And well, that was it. After that call, I was like saved in the nick of time. I was given another reason to regard my continued existence. Eventually, I got my choice. I wanted to face up with my hardship, even though I knew it would hurt me so bad. Everyone suffers in their life. There are many sad days. But rather than sad days, we hope to have better days. That's what makes us live. That's what makes us dream. Depressed people tend to have obsessions with happiness, like they must be happy at any cost. but it turns out to be a trap. Happiness is a feeling you get when you eat after being hungry, drinking after being thirsty, listening to the music you like, and just feeling a little better. Happiness doesn't have to be the biggest thing ever. Look around, and you see that you receive happiness every day. I believe that you can do it, man. You can do it. Let's try harder and work harder tomorrow. I know it will be a tough and long process, but trust me, it's worth. Remember, sometimes even to live is an art of courage. Let's become a me at a moment who loves myself. It's important to love yourself, so please cherish yourself. Rest a bit, enjoy life comfortably. And maybe one day, you and I can confidently claim to this world, the bravest thing I have ever done was deciding to continue to live when I wanted to die. Well, I think that's enough for us today, so I'm guessing it's time to say goodbye and sleep tight. That was your radio time with Annforreal.